Hello and welcome to episode 3 in a series of walking guides for the highest mountains in Scotland, collectively known as the Munros. In this video I'm going to walk you through the route from the Glenfinnan car park to the summit of Sgùrr Thuilm, followed by an easy ridge walk to Sgùrr Thuilm, and then back to the car park. The total distance is estimated to be around 22 kilometres, with a total ascent of 1435 metres. The walking time is estimated to be between 9 and 12 hours. As normal, I'll show you the route on the OS Maps website. A link to this is included in the description below. And then I'll show you the route in time-lapse interspersed with video and commentary from the walk. There are two car parks at Glenfinnan. One is a local council and the other is a National Trust of Scotland car park. Both are pay and display and they cost around £3.50 for the day. I think motorhomes cost £6.50. Both car parks have separate entrances. If you're a member of the National Trust, then the parking is included in your membership. The parking meters take both coins and card, and there is no overnight parking permitted. There is also a National Trust Information Centre and Cafe at the car park, and they are open from 10 AM to 4 PM. A point to note is that these car parks can get very busy in the summer, as they are used for visitors to the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which was made famous by the Harry Potter films, and also the Glenfinnan Monument that marks the start of the Jacobite uprising in 1745. Here we are at the car park. It's around 25 miles or 40 kilometres from Fort William. For this walk I used a mountain bike to start with. If you're going to use a bike for the first section, I would ignore the route shown here and leave the car park out onto the main road, cross the road, cycle up the footpath, over the water, over the bridge, and then you come to this junction, cross the road again, turn right, and then cycle up the private road. This private road joins where the footpath is indicated, just next to the viaduct, and it's just easier to cycle on. And that way you've got a 4 kilometre stretch of tarmac road, which is a private road, and it's good for cycling on. If you're an experienced mountain biker, you can continue when the tarmac road finishes for another kilometre up a rough gravel and rocky road. I used this road, but I had to walk on the rockier and steeper sections. Once you get up to this point on the map, then you'll see a small sign for Sgùrr Thuilm. This is on the left hand side, and it's not long after crossing the stream here. There's no difficult sections, there's no scrambling or exposed sections on this walk. Sometimes the route finding was a little bit tricky, partly due to the cloud and mostly due to the amount of rock, so there's no signs of wear on the path when you're walking over the rocks. The route up to Sgùrr Thuilm is for the most part on a well-defined and fairly steep path. I did lose the path at one point, and I'll show this. I missed a turn to the left. I don't think I was the only one to do this, as there was a path leading straight on, but it eventually faded away to nothing. You'll keep heading up the ridge and eventually you will reach the summit. At this point you will have climbed 990 metres and travelled around 9 kilometres. From the summit you'll turn a little bit to the right. It's around a 4 kilometre ridge walk to Sgùrr Thuilm, and then another 400 metres of ascent across that ridge walk, and most of that is at the end. About a kilometre from the summit, the first summit, there is a slightly tricky route finding spot, and I again missed a left turn, so I'll show that. Along the ridge there are a lot of ups and downs, and then a couple of slightly steeper uphill sections to the top of Sgùrr Thuilm. From the summit of Sgùrr Thuilm it's almost all downhill back to the car park. The path is easy to follow, it does get a bit wet and boggy at times, and on my descent it started to get dark. Even in the darkness, using my head torch, I had no trouble following the path. Eventually you will join a rough road and then return back to where you leave your bike. From here I cycled and walked a little bit until I got back to the main tarmac road going across the bridge, and from there I cycled an easy cycle, even though it was dark, back down to the car park, and for long sections of that I could just coast along. I didn't even need to pedal. As always, I checked the weather using the Mountain Weather Information Service. A link to this is also included in the description below. Here is a copy of the weather report for the West Highlands. Glenfinnan is north of the area covered by this report according to the description here. but the Northwest Highlands weather report is for the area north of Viaduct, and this leaves a gap between both of the areas covered by these two reports, so I checked both of the reports. I had originally planned to do this walk a week ago, but the weather report showed high winds of 80 miles per hour, and this is not my idea of fun. In today's report, there's not much chance of the tops being clear. It is predicted to be dry and not too cold. And for me, the more often you go walking, the easier it is, and I don't want to miss more than 2 weeks between my walks. So it's 10 AM on a Friday morning. It's not a bad day, but it's a bit overcast. We're at the Glenfinnan car park and we're going to do 2 Munros today. So there we can see the Glenfinnan Viaduct. You get a lot of tourists coming to take pictures, hopefully catch the Jacobite steam train as it goes over. So just looking back at the Glenfinnan Viaduct. So I think I'm coming down the one that's on the slightly to the right, this one here. So I'm coming back down there. We're going behind here, up to the left, up onto the ridge, right round and back down. So I'm almost at the start of the actual climb up the mountainside. I've done a quick check of the map. It doesn't look like there's any more streams on the whole of the ridge basically. There's one point possibly. So I'm going to refill my water filter bag. Nice little waterfall. Done about 4 kilometres on the bike, mostly uphill, so it's going to be a nice ride back to the car park. So that's my approach to turn off to Sgùrr Thuilm, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm terrible at these names. You'll see a little sign, little signpost, start of the walk. We've got the side of this mountainside. We'll go all the way around in a clockwise rotation on the ridge and then come back down there and then come back to the bike, which I've just parked at the side of the road. An overcast day today, a lot of cloud, not even a breeze at the moment. We might get lucky and get up through the cloud. We might not. Over there that cloud isn't even moving, it's just sitting there. The path has been good. There are some slightly soggier sections, but nothing bad. It's clear, it zigzags up. It's a nice route. Third of the way up Sgùrr Thuilm at 340 metres. The top's about 950 metres roughly. Almost getting into the cloud. see back down to the viaduct from here. Starting to pick up a little bit. It was forecast to, and there was a slight clearing on the ridge over there. You can see all the way down the glen back to the Glenfinnan car park and viaduct, and it looks a bit darker coming in. Coireachan. It's picked up, the wind hasn't been bad up until this point, but it's picking up now. So that's climbed about 950 metres. It's about 2/3 of the climbing on ascent for today. I think I'm around about half of it. Get off the top quickly because there's not a lot to see, and standing around you just get cold. I'm about 1 kilometre along the ridge from the first summit. The wind has completely died down. I had put my fleece on, it was cold at the top of the summit. I had to take it off again. Getting too hot. Not much to see. Somewhere over there, the sky cooling. Would be nice on a clear day. clearing up on the right hand side. A little bit of cloud on the left. You'll almost see the summit. You can see the full ridge that will be going down once we get to the top, and that's back down to Glenfinnan and the Viaduct. The cloud is lifting, the wind's picking up as well. You can almost see the ridge. Clouds up to about 850 metres. Just needs to go a little bit higher. So the top is up there, 60 metres of ascent to go, about 150 metres away. So we've got this very faint sort of splitting of the path, and we're going to go left now. Hopefully the path gets a little bit stronger as we go on, but we're just going up there. Here I am at the summit of Sgùrr Thuilm. Not much to see. It's quite a long, quite a tough walk. Lots of ups and downs, not a lot of sort of flat. So the time is 15:40. I've got to go all the way down that ridge. It's about, I say, 1.5 kilometres to the bottom, about a mile. Going downhill. I don't know how tricky it'll be. Maybe it'll take 40 minutes to an hour. And it's going to start getting dark. So we'll see how it goes. I have a head torch. Once we get down to the bike, then there's no difficulty navigating, it's a clear road, so we shouldn't have any problems. The light is fading, you can see more of the ridge, it's almost peeking out of the cloud, but not quite. Getting some dark and brooding scenes now. got proper dark now. We're not far down to go to get to that road. The path's a bit squidgy, but it's quite clear and well defined. I guess about another 20 minutes to get to the road. And we'll cycle down the road in the dark. And here I am arriving back at the car park. Total time taken was 7 hours and 45 minutes. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe.